Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. My name is Eric Johnson, and I just wanted to give you the quick tour of the Benefits Learning Network website. So, when you get to the site, benefitslearningnetwork.org, you start by clicking Login in the top right corner because most of the information on the site is password protected. And you enter your username and password on the next screen. That'll take you back to the main page where now you'll have access to the various tools and resources that are on the website. So let's take a quick look at some of the tools that we have available. Starting here at the top, we have a daily newswire. Now this newswire basically aggregates a lot of the health reform and employee benefits stories from a number of different resources around the internet. Kaiser Family Foundation, Google News, Bing News, benefitspro.com, and so forth. If you want to read any of the articles, all you need to do is click on the link. It'll open it up in a light box on the screen, and once you're done, you click anywhere on the screen to go back to the main page. Our blog section is our newest section on the site, so it is still being developed, but essentially this is going to serve as the tutorial section where we'll tackle health reform and employee benefits topics one piece at a time. So you can see some of the categories that we have set up here already. If you click on that category, you can see the various articles that we have related to that category. And many of these are just resources where you can download them and forward them on to your clients or use them if you're an employer as a reference tool. We have a toolbox section where we have created a number of different calculator tools as well as borrowed some created by outside organizations. These tools are categorized as individual, small group, or large group based on the market segment that they are most closely aligned with. So you can see that we have tools for individuals where they can determine whether their group health coverage is considered affordable or not and whether it would block them from a subsidy. The individual mandate calculator, which shows them the premium versus the penalties based on their income. We have a small group section where you can see the HHS standard age curve, which is used to determine the amounts that employees would pay for their coverage under an age-rated plan. A employer contribution calculator, since some of these plans are age-rated now, it makes it a little more complicated for employers who now have to determine how to come up with a contribution strategy that will be fair for their employees and will not punish those workers who are maybe older and who have been with them longer. In our large group tools section, we have a full-time equivalent calculator, safe harbor contribution calculator, player pay calculator, and then links to the actuarial value and minimum value calculators that were created by the Department of Health and Human Services. We have a rules and regulations section. Now, the rules and regs section is something you probably won't refer to a lot, but when you do have a question, it's a great place to look. What we've done is taken a number of different topics and put the various rules, regulations, and guidance related to that topic all in one place. So if you wanted to learn about essential benefits, for instance, we have an overview at the beginning, and then you can see some of the regulations and guidance that have been created along the way to implement the essential benefits provision. On the other hand, if you wanted to maybe see if you are following the rules to still be grandfathered, you can read about grandfathered health plans, you can see the rules and regulations related to that, and even view some videos where President Obama said if you like your health plan, you can keep it. Probably a little more useful than just the simple rules and regs section is our formatted rules section. In the formatted rules, what we're doing is going back through and taking pieces of the legislation and some of the guidance that's been issued and putting it in an easier to read format. For instance, Title I of the Affordable Care Act is the part that applies the most to insurance agents and employers. So we've taken Title I and reformatted it to make it much, much easier to read with a clickable table of contents, so you can go directly to a specific section of the law and see what it has to say. We've also done the same thing with some of the guidance that's been issued. For instance, the defined contribution guidance that was put out by the Department of Labor and Department of Treasury back in September. We've broken that apart into various pieces and made it a little bit easier to read, and then also inserted videos and PowerPoints so you can learn about each section or download the PowerPoint separately, and then you can scroll through to read the next section. We're now working on an employer mandate page that will do the same sort of thing. It's separated based on the various topics that are covered in the guidance so that you can skip just directly to that section without scrolling through the Federal Register. We have a frequently asked questions section where we've aggregated a lot of the FAQs that have been put out by the Department of Labor and the Department of Treasury and HHS about health reform to make them a little bit easier to find. Going back to the main page of the website, you can see that we have a section here with some of our latest health reform posts, so they're on the main page and you're less likely to miss them. We have a video tutorials section where we've found a lot of outside videos created by various government agencies and other organizations that should be helpful in explaining different provisions of the law. This will also be a favorite section of the site as we're going to be adding our own video tutorials to that section. And we have a few other tools that should help our members. A recommended reading section, some of the more important articles that have been published related to health reform over the past few months, an infographics section where we've found infographics created by outside organizations that explain different health reform and employee benefits topics visually. And because everybody needs to laugh a little bit about this, we do have a funny section called The Funny Thing About Health Reform. Right now, we are running a great deal. It is just $150 for 12 months access. That's $12.50 per month, and you will have access to all of the tools on the website. If you're not yet sure that you'd like to join, but you'd kind of like to sample the content, we do have a free white paper that you can download simply by giving us your email address. So if you'll sign up for our mailing list, then we will give you instant access to that white paper, which explains why defined contribution for individual health plans is now finally officially dead. Thank you very much. Hopefully this helped, and hope to see you as a member sometime soon.